Right. And so, can I just really quick? You said wet down as one of the terms. What is a wet down?
If you're shooting on a street, let's say asphalt goes gray, specifically in the afternoon sun. And if you ever watch a movie, everything looks slick and wet.
Mm-hmm.
That's called a wet down. You take either garden hoses, Hudson sprayers, which are the small garden sprayers about this big. You pump them up and spray if it's a small area. Or you take a fire hydrant and a fire hose, or you get a giant water truck and you have them drive down the street and wet everything down. And if it's a couple of streets, you'll do a couple of water trucks.
Oh, wow.
And the same water truck will be used if you were doing rain to power everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives everything a nice look. Cement looks better wet on camera.
Okay.
It's a richer, darker color,
Huh.
as opposed to dull, flat gray. Unless that's what you want.
Right.
You know.
So who does that fall under? Like the water truck and the watering down.
Well, it's a transportation that coordinates with special effects.
So it's a special effect. Right? It's not production design.
Yes. What you're going to do, and it depends on the show, and commercials may be different than movies, may be different than TV as to where the auspice is, who's in charge. But you're going to call up a company that has water trucks, and you're going to say, hey, we need a wet down. Locations will make sure that it's okay. Production will figure out with transportation and locations where the refill goes, because you've got to refill up that truck again.
Right.
It's kind of like a rental car. You know, you got to return it with a gas tank full. But not just that, you also may go through a couple of things if it's a big day.
Right.
If it's a rain sequence, and you don't want to have to go, okay, well, the water truck ran out, we got to wait an hour, he drives into town.
Right.
You have a second water truck and one's filling, so you have to work through that.
Wow.
But it's fun.
So you talked about you sit down with the director and the DP. How much creative input or creative control do you have when you're sitting and talking with them and planning all this stuff out?
Well, generally what I like to do is, since I've had the script maybe the longest, and I've had the chance to really think it through the most, I want to get them talking, because I need to know what they're thinking. I may know in reality that we only have time for this quantity of shot and time. There's a finite amount.
Right.
But, and I got there first, but it doesn't do me any good if I'm sitting there in a room going, you only have time for this, and they go, but we want to do all this other stuff. And now they look at me as someone being an Eeyore, being a negative person, who's just saying no. So what I have to do, as much as I can, is drive them in the direction of the same conclusion that I came in, not because I'm trying to say I'm right, but because I want them to flesh it out. I don't want them having regrets. I don't want them at the last minute going, wouldn't it have been neat if? I need them to be with me, so that when we go, okay, here's what we're doing, we're in 100%. I've been in situations where, specifically like on a TV show, and this will explain it better, the DP isn't a part of prep. He's on the shoot the whole time. Whereas the first ADs are prepping with one director while one director shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's done shooting, these two guys that were prepping take over, and this guy goes back to, so they flip.
Right.
Now, some bigger shows will have the DP, the first AD, and the director do that, but most shows don't. So as such, the DP only sees the script the day that he's really doing it. He doesn't have
Wow.
time to look at the locations. His best boy electric and his best boy grip will go. And every now and then we'll get him for a few minutes to come look at something special, but he's working. He doesn't have the time to go see and do. So as such, I'll have time to prep with the director, and we'll discuss shots and figure it out. Are you coming around a corner? How does it connect to a next shot? Where do you want to go? We need another header. What are the things that you need to logistically make this work?
Right.
I've seen it, director's seen it, DP hasn't. So now I have to sit with him and go, okay, he's going, why are we doing it in this order? This order's crazy. I go, there's many reasons. There are many, many reasons. Because you want me to give you 7? You don't have time to hear all of them. And so one, you don't get one actor until 2 o'clock. The other actor's a minor. The other actor's a dog. You can't get into the second location. You have to be out of the, I can go through all that
Right.
stuff. So a trust has to build between the DP and the first AD. Both first ADs. Because if not, if by the time you get in there, he starts second guessing you, then you start to build an antagonistic relationship, and you do not want that.
Right.
You have to make sure that it's symbiotic. It has to work together. It has to be a team. So what I want to do is create an environment where I develop a schedule that is the most efficient and the best way to do what we're going to do. And it gives us the most time with what's most important. And then I can go, look, this is the scene on the call sheet that is important. It's the second thing. It gets our actors in, so that by the time we get there, you're not waiting on anything. It'll give us the most time. If that scene goes long, these 2 scenes are 2 people sitting in a chair, nobody moves, you can shoot those quickly. You can block shoot those. We can get out of those quickly. I've given us an hour for each one, but if you had to do them in half, there's no cost. So we see where the flexibility is. I said, my recommendation is this, but I've allowed for this.
Mhm.
What, and in that way, everybody understands the logic of what we're doing. Otherwise, they're just, well, I need more time.
Mhm.
You don't have more time, but I need more time. So then you get in a weird place. It's not good.